Okay, yes, so the main part of the night, Tina and Marcia are going to do an interview. Can we, a round of applause, please. A little quiet now, come on. Tina and Marcia.
Oh, it's such an honour to actually be Tina's publisher. And I just have to say as well, Tina is just very, very, very special to me. Yeah, very special. I met her I think 10 years ago, about 10 years ago. And she's just one of those ladies that I just love. And it's been an honour for me. It was an honour for me that she came to me to work with her on her book. And it was released, 2 years ago now? Yeah. Almost 2 years. And it was 10 years ago when we met Tina, which was very early days in your grief. And I remember those days, hard time. And I've just watched you just channel your grief, remember your mum, honour your mum, Queen Bee, and celebrate her and just show the world really how much you loved and still love her. And make us cry.
Don't even wear makeup?
Yeah, we're not going to bring our makeup tonight, okay. And I just have to say, Tina, I need you to stand up and we need to give her a round of applause because look, doesn't she look amazing? Look at this dress, come on. That's it. That's Tina. Okay. Representing Queen Bee. So before we have a chat, I'm going to put you on the spot now, right? I'm going to ask you to do a reading from your book. So we'll just start with the preface, I think, at the beginning, if you want to read that. I'm assuming that most people have already got copies. Do you want to give a show of hands if you've already read the book, you've got copies, right? Most people who are here. So let me see who hasn't got copies and who's definitely going to buy a copy tonight from Tina.
Where's your hands, boss? Where's your hands?
Okay. All right. So over to you, Tina. Sorry, Retina Rowe, the author. Over to the author. Here you are, Tina.
What does grief mean? Pain, sorrow, heartache, the feeling of being lost, confusion, wanting to scream but wanting to be silent, wanting to talk but not wanting to express. Was this because we were taught to suppress? How can this be of help? It is a feeling of total mess. Distress and anxiety, a feeling of depression. How can all this be? Here today, gone tomorrow, with no warning, no preparing, just left in a daze of loss and sorrow. Our loved ones no longer here in the flesh, but their spirits live on in our hearts. That's where they rest. Some say it gets easier with time. I say you learn to deal with it better with time. There's no time frame with grief. Only God knows the highs and the lows. You hide behind your smile, but your eyes tell a story of someone so lost, so sad, broken. You pretend you're okay, but really you're hurt. The sorrow, trauma, flashbacks are way too much. There are sleepless nights, tossing and turning, wishing it could be daylight. Why? Keeping busy is the only way. Keep focused and your thoughts won't run until the time we keep still, and then we're back to where it began.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Tina. So I remember we had a kind of a more family launch in October 2023, and you've travelled quite a journey since then. And so I'm going to ask you really, how has it been for the last, say, 18 months since that October?
That's 18 months. 18 months ago, as the ones who were there knows that I would not be sitting here talking and not crying or feeling emotional and all sorts, you know what I mean? I wasn't ready for a big thing then. Now my journey is different because I'm turning my grief to purpose. And you know, I started to do grief groups, support groups. So it's not just focused on me, it's like helping others as well, supporting them. So I will be launching soon an online and face-to-face program, Understanding Grief and Bereavement. But helping other people as well with their journey is also helping myself with my journey. Yeah. So it's like, look, you know, helping each other basically. So it's not just about you lose your loved one. Yes, we miss them for different reasons. You know, we miss the presence that they have when it comes to a special occasion or anything like that. So it's like I'm just thinking, okay, my mum was like, she loved music, she played music, she was a domino queen, and do you know what I mean? She's done all these things, so how can I celebrate her? Instead of going to just the cemetery alone as always and just crying and moping and drinking and doing all that stuff. How can I celebrate her? How can I change the way I look at my grief now? So this is why I've decided to do a launch in this way, like honouring her memorial and also just changing the way we look at grief, like, you know, just use it differently, do something that they enjoyed, celebrate them, you know, something that they like to do that, you know what I mean? And yes, we're going to grieve, you know, because it doesn't matter how long the person's gone, it's not going to be no less than it was yesterday, do you know what I mean? Like, it will be, you'll probably feel less because you learn to manage it differently, but at the same time, it's like, you're always going to miss that person. There's no time frame to grief. It doesn't matter how long. Some probably think, you know, 11 years, that's long. No. If you ain't grieving in them 11 years, it's fresh. You know what I'm saying? So, changing the way you look at things and how you travel your healing journey, it helps you cope better. So that's what I've learned over the last 18 months, you know, look at things differently. I love supporting people anyway, so let's support, let's do things pertaining to grief, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you, Tina. So, I'm just going to ask you another question. I'm going to take you back a little bit. So, you produced a book, so a lot of people lose a loved one or particularly lose a parent and they're unable to be productive, but you decided that you're going to write a book. Why did you do that?
My book wasn't supposed to be a book to start, first of all. Right. I just was writing, had different conversations, and how I was dealing with my grief, I was holding it. I don't speak about my emotions and things like that anyway. Anyone who knows me, I don't do that. So it's just like, yeah, I'm okay, I'm good, or whatever, and I carry on with it. And behind closed doors, and I'm breaking down, not making my children see anything. I'll sit in my car, I'll do whatever. So when I was putting I just started writing notes in my phone, and then just carrying on writing. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to turn this into something that possibly can allow people to understand what grief is and how it makes you feel and how you can still turn it around, you know what I mean? Because if you don't, channeling it in some way positive, you can break, you know what I mean? You can break and go all the way. So, writing a book, it kind of helped as well, and it allowed people to understand how I was feeling, how I felt, and things like that. Because obviously, a lot of my close ones didn't know, like, hey, I'm good, or I'll probably snap, or I'll probably be in a mood, or something like that, and they'll be like, okay, she's feeling down because of that. You know what I mean? So when they read the book or read the book, they know exactly how I was feeling and what I was going through.
Yeah. I'm getting that, it's a way for you to be able to communicate what was going on inside, because you're not someone who just talks about it. Okay, brilliant. So having said that, can you read another section for us, please? Ready?
Start from now. Give her another bit more encouragement.
In a red dress. Look at her. Come on, you don't need encouragement. Come on.
I never knew what having knees made of jelly meant until that day. The phone call could have been after 3 in the morning, but I never forget the tone of my sister Serena's voice. I just knew me saying, "You're chatting shit, you're chatting shit," even before anything was said to me apart from my name. That feeling of not knowing what to do, the kids screaming and crying to me, having to call work to say I can't do my shift, to calling my older sisters Nadine and Laverne and my brothers Milton and Cavallo, then calling my cousin who's like my sister Vanessa and shouting on the phone. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Rubbing my head crying, pacing up and down, my cousin telling me to go to hers with the kids, to arriving there, putting the kids in the house, so they could lie down. Meanwhile, I was back in the car saying I need to call my Auntie Dee. I didn't have her number stored in my phone as I knew it off by heart. But as I went to dial it, I just could not remember the number. I started crying and saying, I don't know it. I don't remember, but how? I always knew it. Was I losing my mind? Remembering I had her daughter and my cousin Chinky's number stored in my phone. I called her to call Auntie Dee, driving to pick up my older sister and my cousin Cynthia, who's Vanessa's mother and my sister, offered to drive, but I didn't want her to, as I felt like I had something to focus on as I drove to the hospital. I met with my other sisters and brothers there. This is it, we're here. My heart was beating fast as we walked down the hospital corridor. It was like it was never going to end. Was this a dream, a film, a hallucination? No, it was my reality. My knees and legs turned to jelly. The feeling was unbearable, causing me to fall to the ground. My queen was lying on the bed. Her? What? No, not my mother. How could this be? So unexpectedly. This was not supposed to be. Nah, really though, I was confused. I was trying to be calm, but no, that couldn't be. I couldn't catch my breath, couldn't stop the tears. The pain was indescribable. It felt like my stomach was falling out, like it had been ripped out, the gripping, kneeling pain. My heart bled, cried and broke. Leaving the hospital and leaving her behind, knowing she was never coming home to her own bed, was overwhelming, and that's putting it lightly.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Tina. So, Tina, what is it that you miss about having Mum around? Okay.
Everything really, just a mother. You know, like you have people who are like, you know, you can say, oh, a mother-like figure, or
Yeah.
you know, and I have got that, but there's no one like your mum. No matter relationship, it's your mum. You know, you're connected. You know what I mean? Like I said before, you get to buy what is it called? Biblical code, and you have that connect. It
That's
doesn't matter.
right.
Like you always need your mum, no matter what age you are. You need your mother. Like I've got my children. Oh, they've all come now. So I've got my children, and I've got my granddaughter, another one on the way. Do you know what I mean? Like she's missing all that.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, the love she loved her grandkids.
Yeah.
So having great grandchildren even more so. You know, it's just occasions and just to go there, because I would just go there and sit there. We don't even have a conversation. She'll be in her room, I'll be in the living room, but just to be in that presence.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like when she was gone, it's like, where did you go? So I was just sit at the cemetery. Because even though I could go to other places like my Auntie Dee over there or Cynthia over there, like, you know, you still can go there and you feel that, you know, the warmth, the mother figures, but it's still like missing, there's a hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you've got a hole missing, no matter what, that can't be filled. So you go out and you go out and you see people with their mums and things like that, and it's like, oh, there's so, you know what I mean? Like even though you feel part of it, but you don't at the same time, you know, but deep down you're thinking, oh, I'm missing that hole. Do you know what I mean? There's something missing. So, you know, it's just missing her presence. Like it's nothing, it doesn't have to be nothing special. She's just not here. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I did a little poem, Mother and Motherless, do you know what I mean? Like, so it's like all that, so yeah.
Wonderful.
And so, Tina, you're filling that hole with your mission to help other people, with their grief. So, this is my last question, because I know it's hard, right? And everyone here is just so proud of you. So, for anyone who loses a mother, what guidance, what would you say to them? In your role as you are a grief coach, grief supporter, what do you say and how do you comfort someone who loses their mom?
I would say just be there, just be there for how they need you to be there. There's no right way, and there's no right way or wrong way to grieve either. Like, you grieve how you need to grieve, you grieve how long you need to grieve as well. Don't make anyone let you feel like you're grieving too long. You're not grieving too long, you're grieving in your own pace. You just grieve how you need to grieve. And if you know that you could just go and sit with them, you don't need to speak. Sometimes you don't want to speak, sometimes you don't want to talk about the situation because it's bringing up too much. You just want that comfort, someone to be there to sit with them, do you know what I mean? So if it's your close one or your friend or whoever it may be, sometimes you might not know them, but you'll learn to know what they want and how they want to be comforted, do you know what I mean? So I know there's a few in here who is like that now, like who hasn't got their mother, do you know what I mean? So we all grieve in different ways as well, but we know just being around each other and just being in each other's presence is a comfort in itself, because we all know what we're going through at the same time, you know what I mean? So, and speaking about your grief, speaking about how you feel is a big part. Like, I didn't do that for, like I said, the 11 years my mum's been gone now, I didn't speak, I didn't express how I felt, and it broke me and it ate me up, and it's, you know, I'm learning how to do that now. You know what I mean? So I would say speak, don't hold it. You're not going to sound stupid, anything like that. Just talk, let it out how you need to let it out.
Wonderful. And how easy was it to...
I think it's the last question. Oh, okay.
I know, it was, but you know me. How easy was it to write a book, do launches, promote a book while you're grieving? I'm asking how easy was it? Was it easy?
Of course not. Go on, say it.
It was very hard, very emotional, very stressful. It's just like, you know, I'm not doing it, I can't be asked, forget this. Like, it was just a whole load of emotions up and down in, and writing the book, reliving every step, and obviously, you know, you were sending it back to me and saying, does this sound like okay, does it okay, what you need to add, what you need to take away, and it's like all the time I had to keep reading it till it got to the point of, I wasn't even reading it, I was just skimming through. Until this day I haven't read back the book, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, apart from the 2 pages now that I had no choice, but I don't want to read the book again. Like, so it's just like, you skim through it was hard, it was a hard journey to do, and it wasn't easy at all, but I will say, like, it did, I don't know if it helped me release, but it did help a release at the same time, but it can also help somebody else as well, and it's okay to feel the way you feel. Don't ever not, you know, hold that just to make think, you know, I shouldn't feel like this. Yeah, you should. It's your feelings, it's your loved one, doesn't matter who it was a loved one. So you are allowed to feel how you feel. Don't make anyone tell you no otherwise, and don't feel ashamed of grieving. If you're walking on the one you want to cry, you cry. You know what I mean? You scream, you shout, you do whatever you need to do to let that out, because it's only going to break you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Let's get another one. Tina, thank you so much. Listen, we are so proud of you. And I'm just going to, come on, let's stand up and give this girl another round of applause for what she's achieved. Well done, Tina. Okay, congratulations.